If you overthink almost everything, conversations, decisions, things that already happened, this is not a flaw. It is one of the clearest signs your mind works at a different level. Most people move through life without questioning much. They accept things at face value, make quick decisions, and rarely look back. But a certain type of mind can't do that. It loops, it analyzes, it searches for what others miss. Psychology has a name for this pattern, and it has nothing to do with anxiety. Sign 1. You finish a conversation and your mind keeps going. You replay what was said, what wasn't said, what you meant, what they might have meant. Most people call this overthinking. What it actually is deep processing. Your brain refuses to accept the surface version of an interaction. It looks for meaning, subtext, and accuracy. Research on highly analytical minds shows this pattern consistently. The brain treats social exchanges as problems worth solving. You are not replaying the conversation because something went wrong. You are replaying it because your mind demands precision. Sign 2. When most people hear a question, they answer it. When you hear a question, you immediately notice the assumptions inside it, the exceptions to the obvious answer, and at least 2 ways the question could be interpreted differently. You think in layers. One thought leads to a connected thought, which opens a third possibility, which raises a question nobody else in the room is asking. This is not confusion. This is how rare minds naturally process information, not in lines, but in webs. Sign 3. Uncertainty sits badly with you, not because you are anxious by nature, but because your mind is built to resolve things. When information is missing, your brain keeps the loop open and keeps working on it. You find yourself thinking about something hours later, not because you are stuck, but because your mind filed it as unfinished. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik effect, the tendency of sharp minds to hold unresolved things in active memory far longer than average. Your discomfort with loose ends is your mind doing its job. Sign 4. This is the sign most people never recognize in themselves. While others process what is in front of them, your attention is drawn to the gap, the detail that wasn't mentioned, the explanation that doesn't quite hold together, the question nobody thought to ask. This is called absence detection, and it is one of the rarest cognitive traits documented in psychology. Most minds scan for presence. What is here? What happened? What was said? Yours scans for absence. What is missing? What was avoided? What doesn't add up? It is why you often sense something is off before you can explain why. Sign 5. You are not indecisive. You are thorough in a way that most decision-making frameworks are not built for. When you face a choice, your mind generates possibilities faster than the situation requires. You see outcomes others don't consider, risks others don't model, and alternatives others never imagined. The result looks like hesitation from the outside. From the inside, it feels like being handed 10 answers to a question that only asked for one. Research on high cognitive load thinkers consistently shows this pattern. The difficulty is not weakness. It is your mind running a more complete process than the situation was designed for. Sign 6. At the end of a day where nothing particularly difficult happened, you are tired. Not physically, mentally. Your mind ran commentary on everything. It processed conversations as they happened, ran background checks on decisions you weren't consciously making, and kept several unresolved thoughts quietly active the entire time. This is called high baseline cognitive load, and it is the invisible cost of a mind that never fully idles. Other people rest between thoughts. Your mind doesn't have an idle mode. The exhaustion is real, and it is not a dysfunction. It is the overhead cost of carrying a mind that is always, quietly, working. Sign 7. There is a specific kind of satisfaction you feel that most people around you don't seem to share. It happens when you are alone with an idea, reading, thinking, following a thought somewhere unexpected with no destination in mind. Not socializing, not producing, not achieving. Just thinking. For most people, this sounds like wasted time. For you, it feels like the most natural state there is. Psychologists who study intrinsic motivation in high cognitive minds consistently find this pattern. The rare mind doesn't just tolerate solitude, it requires it. Not because you are antisocial, because deep thinking needs silence, and your mind is always looking for depth. If any of these felt familiar, you already know which one hit closest. This is not overthinking. This is the signature of a mind built differently. If that resonates, there is more coming. The next one might surprise you even more.